race. So far, everything looks clean right now. We should be getting a green, and we've got the green flag right now, and today's race is officially underway. We've got a clean start. Extractor is there, recovery. I've got Hawk, Agitator, Fountain right there in the middle of the action. Bad to the Bone is right there. Bad to the Bone, Agitator, Bad to the Bone, and Maxon going out. Hawk staying in its own water, trying to pick up speed. The early leaders right now, Agitator, Bad to the Bone. Maxon getting off to a quick lead, and Awesome right there starting to make his move on Maxon. Bad to the Bone coming up with a challenge, and Agitator right there also. We've got Awesome right there, and Little Caesar's Pizza making his move now. All the boats are getting underway now. Big start for a big race, and everyone looks good. Little Caesar's Pizza looking very good in that Apache race hull. Agitator is taking the lead with Maxon, running neck and neck. That's Maxim, Agitator, and Bad to the Bone right there, taking a slight lead right now. They'll be going by the beautiful town of St. Petersburg Beach and heading out to the open race course. You've got Agitator on the outside, Bad to the Bone in the middle of your picture, and Maxim on the inside of Bad to the Bone. Great start so far. Now we're going to come up on Bad to the Bone race team, M89. This is a 33-foot express catamaran hull powered by two 625 horsepower laser inboard motors. This boat is owned by Ernesto Cortina of Miami, Florida. He's got Rick Conti from Miami on throttles and Jose Leva from Miami doing the driving today. The Bad to the Bone race team. And recovery on the outside of Bad to the Bone going by. Even out this far, look at all the spectators out here. High performance racing has really taken hold. But right now they're witnessing some great racing. Recovery going by on the outside. Bad to the Bone will rise to the challenge and hang tough in the modified class. Bad to the Bone, Team Skater, Agitator, I'm sure we'll be doing all day in the very exciting modified division today. There you get a great shot, and you can hear what those laser inboards are all about. The team of Leva and Conti making up the Bad to the Bone race team. From St. Petersburg Beach, it's M89, Bad to the Bone. Bad to the Bone should be tough to beat today. They're running very strong right now. They feel very confident with a thumbs up sign to freeze frame video. We wish them all the best. Bad to the Bone. And that's Miss Mellons on the outside of Bad to the Bone. Slight chop out here at this point in the race course, but not a problem for these big offshore racers. Now we're going to highlight Miss Mellons. It's an open boat, number 39. It's a 38 all-black Cougar catamaran hull with two 750 horsepower Mercury inboards with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned by Edwin Shear of Miami, Florida, and today on throttling he's got Tommy Curry from Norwalk, Connecticut. A great team right here with Shear and Curry making up the Miss Mellons race team. There you get a good look at that 38-foot Cougar cat. Very colorful paint job highlighting the Miss Mellon race team. Shear certainly grabbed a great throttle man when he chose Tommy Curry to throttle this race boat. Curry's been around for so many years, has a lot of experience, and is a proven champion out here in the open waters. So Shear made a great decision taking Curry. Really good credit to Shear for choosing one of the better throttle men on the circuit. And right now Miss Mellons is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's running very strong. They've got a slight lead right now in class, and they'll be dueling with Recovery, Hawk Marine Power, and some of the other open boats all day today. But right now, just get a good look at a very hot race boat. This Cougar cat is looking very strong, and with these 750 horsepower Mercury motors, they're going to be tough to beat today. Shear and Curry making up the Miss Mellons race team. We wish them all the best in St. Petersburg. Considering Shear had a late start this season, he missed the first few races. He is in the top 3 finishers so far in his category, so that's certainly an attribute to his skills in this race boat. They've missed quite a few races, but he's had some good finishes, which has put him up in the point standings. Ed Shear's Miss Mellons race team. Now we come up on the hard-charging boat number 27, Recovery Race Team. This is a 30-foot Jaguar Cat powered by two 870 horsepower Keith Eichert Lightning Performance inboards with Kike for outdrives. This boat is owned by White Heat Racing from Hempstead, New York. Driving today is Stuart Hain from Hempstead, and from Amityville Harbor, New York, on throttles, Joey and Pressure from East Coast Marine. This is going to be a great duel. You just saw Miss Mellons, and now you see Recovery. These two boats will be dueling all day in the open class, and they're strong competitors. Joey and Pressure ranks right up there with some of the best in the business. Top competitor. He's had some great boats throughout with East Coast Marine and some of the many other boats that he's run. Just recently, in his boat, he took first in Sarasota with Keith Eichert Lightning Performance motors also. So the team of Heyman and Pressure are going to be very tough competitors today, and they're dialed in very well right now, and their sights are set on Miss Mellons. It's going to be tough racing. Right there you get a good look at Pressure and Heyman dug in nicely in their cockpits. Stuart Hames has been around for many years. He's a very good racer, excellent driver, and Joey Impressa has been around for so many years. He's developed so much experience and confidence that this team should be a very formidable opponent for today's race. They're going through about a 2 to 3 foot chop right now. A little slower conditions right now, and the seas have kicked up a bit. They're starting to round the checkpoint and heading out to the next checkpoint on this course. They're certainly on the rough leg of the course, but recovery is looking very good right now. They should be tough to beat, and they'll be dueling all day with Miss Mellons. We wish the team of Impressa and Haim all the best today in St. Petersburg Beach, the recovery race team. Coming up on the outside of recovery, that's Little Caesars Pizza. Different class boat, so it's certainly not a problem, but very good competition nonetheless. Little Caesars Pizza definitely is trying to make a move on Eric's Reality. He would like a good finish today, but Eric's Reality virtually has it all locked up in the Superboat class, but Caesars is charging hard nonetheless. Recovery race team, very confident right here. Comfortable in the boat, the attitude is very fine right now. Joey Impressa and Stuart Haim, the recovery race team. Now we're coming up on one of the more colorful boats on the race course, M10, the boat known as Agitator. This colorful 32-foot skater catamaran is powered by two 650 horsepower United Racing inboards with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Alan Dunteman of Oak Brook, Illinois, who also does the driving, and Kirk Dunteman from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, now is on throttles. What more can we say? The Duntemans of the Agitator race team have had a very good year. Right now they're locked in a fierce battle with Team Skater. All year these boats have traded first, second, third places throughout the campaign, and it's come down to this one race. Whoever finishes first here today should be able to take the modified division, depending on what the other boat does, obviously. But today the Duntemans know what is expected of them. They must have a strong finish, preferably a first place, to try to stay ahead of Team Skater to take first place in the overall national championship as well as today's race. So it's going to come right down to the wire today with the Agitator race team that you see in your picture and Team Skater before we can crown the champion in the modified division of this year's race. So it's really going to be exciting. So we'll be keeping a close track on it, and we'll just have to wait to see how it unfolds today between Agitator and Team Skater. But right now we're with the Duntemans, and this boat is moving. The attitude is very strong right now. The boat looks very comfortable, and the Duntemans are nicely in place right here in their racing cockpit. The Agitator race team going all out. The United Racing Inboards have really done a job for them, and they're very satisfied with the performance of the 32-foot skater catamaran. Kirk and Alan Dunteman making up the Agitator race team. We wish them all the best in their quest to take the checkered flag today. Now we're coming up on a familiar boat. It's US-1, John D'Elia's Special Edition. This sleek 35-foot Jaguar catamaran is powered by two 750-horsepower Merc Cruiser inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned by D'Elia Pontiac of Greenwich, Connecticut. Driving, of course, is the champion John D'Elia of Coscob, and on throttles, it's J.D. D'Elia, also from Coscob. What a story this team has been. John D'Elia has been on the campaign for so many, many years, and in the last several years, he's finally come on to the true champion that he's always dreamed of being. He's defending champion in the open class, and right now he has the national points locked up in the open division right now. They've had a great year. J.D. D'Elia on throttles had so many successful campaigns in breakaway race team that he and his father have allied their skills to come out here this year with Special Edition, and what a story it's been. They've had so many first and second place finishes, a few thirds. They've had a great campaign overall. The entire Special Edition race team from top to bottom has really done a fantastic job, and John is proud of the team as well as his son, a good champion. John D'Elia has really done a great job for the Offshore performance this year, and Special Edition is doing very well. There you see the Auto Armor, Special Edition, and all the checkered flags that they have earned for the '89 campaign. And it's been a lot of hard work from John D'Elia and his entire staff, making the US-1 Special Edition race team the true champion that they are. Right now, they're just looking to have a good run for today's race. They have a very comfortable lead in the open class over Hawk Marine Power and Mellons, who you saw earlier on. So let's sit back and see a true champion at work. US-1, John D'Elia's Special Edition race team. And there you see a great shot right there of J.D. on throttles and his father John doing the driving. True champion, Special Edition, and it's so difficult to repeat back-to-back years as champion with all the great boats that we have this year. But the D'Elias have been able to do it, and there's J.D. on the inside looking very strong in Special Edition. Now we come up on some very close racing. That's Hawk on the inside and Agitator on the outside. Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power, the red boat on the inside, and Agitator with the Duntamans on the outside. The Duntamans taking a slight lead now over that boat as he rounds that checkpoint. Very strong racing by the Duntamans. They know what they have to do, and they are charging very hard. And both boats are passing a smaller A boat right now, not a problem. And now we're coming up on boat number 26, the sleek, all-red boat known as Hawk Marine Power. This is a 35-foot Jaguar, powered by two 700-horsepower Hawk inboards with Keykefer outdrives. This boat is owned by Mandy Fernandez from Miami, Florida, who is your driver of record and is doing the throttling today. And driving for Mandy is Craig Barry of Fort Lauderdale, Florida also. Hawk Marine Power right there, a very strong boat. Mandy has had a relatively good year. He's had a few second and third place finishes, finished in the lower part of the pack, but he is right there, presently in second place, trying to hold in the national division. Not necessarily in today's race right now, but he is dueling with Miss Mellon's Recovery, who you saw earlier on, and Mandy, as well as John D'Elia's Special Edition. There you see some of the many spectators once again scattered all over the race course today. St. Petersburg Beach, it brings out the best in offshore powerboat racing. Mandy Fernandez, also a proven veteran, as we've seen so far throughout this broadcast. There they are, they're charging hard. Mandy Fernandez and Craig Barry, your driver, right there, egging him on. Let's get this boat going, he's saying to Mandy, and they are moving very strong right here. Mandy has had so much experience in all his years with Dan Carrera and some of the other race boats he's had. He's got a lot of experience, and he's a great sportsman. The hard-charging Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power. With St. Petersburg Beach in the background, Mandy Fernandez is really putting on a show here for the crowd in St. Petersburg. He's charging very hard as he goes down this straight by the beach. The hard-charging Hawk Marine Power of Mandy Fernandez. Now we're going to switch to Gary Johnson in helicopter number 2 and our camera number 2 to bring you the Sportsman Start. Freeze frame video, constantly striving to bring you the maximum coverage here at all the offshore powerboat events. And right now we have the Sportsman Start. On the far outside, that's Hooters. On the inside of him, it's Enterprise. Then there's Chill Out, and then there's Riva Photo we see. We have the green flag, and they are off racing, and Hooters has taken a quick lead over the rest of the pack. There you look back on them, you see Enterprise in the middle, Chill Out is there, Riva Photo right in the middle of your picture, and it's once again a clean start. The Sportsman, very competitive racing. Many of the boats are very similar, and it provides some great thrills for all the fans. The national boats are exciting, but the Sportsmen are also just as exciting, and the people really get behind some of these boats. Right in the center of your picture is the red-hulled Riva Photo, the fountain race boat. And behind him right now it's Chill Out. So you've got Hooters, Riva Photo, and Chill Out starting to take the lead group of boats over the rest of the pack. Very clean start. As we indicated earlier, these boats will be running less laps, about 70 miles, compared to the 140 that the other boats will be running. And right now we're going to highlight boat number D72. It's Riva Photo. There's an all-red fountain race hull powered by two 750 horsepower Manser machine engines with Keykefer outdrives. This boat is owned by David Windmiller from Brooklyn, New York, who's doing the driving, and he's got Chris Sestaro from Old Saybrook, Connecticut on throttles. Riva Photo, this boat looks very good. The fountain race hull is a proven technological race boat that does very well in the open waters. And with these Manser machine engines, the boat sounds very strong right now. The competition is very tough in D-Class. He'll be dueling all day with Force 10, Castaway, and Hooters, who right now has a slight lead over Riva Photo. Riva Photo is off to a very strong start, and he's got Hooters in his sights, and he's tracking him down right now. As this race goes on in the modified, we will be trying to keep you updates on the close battle between Team Skater and the Duntamans in Agitator. But right now we're staying with Riva Photo, who's got his sights set on Hooters, and he's dialing them in right now. The hard-charging Riva Photo from St. Petersburg Beach, Florida. We wish them all the best today. Now we come up on D2, the Chill Out race team. This is a 32-foot Scorpion powered by two 700 horsepower United Racing engine inboards with Merc Cruiser number 3 outdrives. This boat is owned by Claudio Morales from Miami, Florida. Driving today is Danny Martinez from Miami. On throttles, you've got Fernandez Morales from Miami. Driver of record is Fernandez Morales, although he is doing the throttling today. Morales and Martinez making up the Chill Out race team. And this Scorpion looks very good right now. These United Racing engines have a lot of power, and it all seems to be coming together right now for the Chill Out race team. They'll be dueling with the boats you saw earlier on. Hooters, and of course Riva Photo, who you just saw, is running very good in that sleek fountain race hull. But the Scorpion is a definite proven race boat that's been around for many, many years, especially down in the Florida area. and it's met with great success over the years. And Morales and Martinez hopes to continue in the tradition of the hard-charging Scorpion race boats here today. Right now, it's still in the early stages of this race category in Sportsman, so things are going to get sorted out, and the D class is certainly going to be a very competitive battle. Things look very good right now for this race team. As things unfold, we wish them all the best. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, it's the Chill Out race team comprised of Morales and Martinez. The Chill Out race team looking very strong right now. From Chill Out, now we come up to D8, the boat known as Force 10. This is a Force 10 36-foot race hull. This boat is powered by two 700 horsepower Chevy inboard motors with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned by Ray Hankey and Mike Greenberg from Clearwater, Florida. Mike Graham from Tampa, Florida is your driver. Mike Greenberg from St. Petersburg is your navigator. And Ray Hankey from Madeira Beach, Florida is on throttles. There's a Florida boat, and they do have some local competition right here. Mike Graham is from Tampa, who is also a professional wrestler, and he's bringing all the skills that he's learned in the ring and the endurance that it requires for offshore powerboat racing. He's a gutsy competitor, and he certainly adds a lot to this team right here. Mike Graham driving the Force 10 boat. But being from St. Petersburg, Florida, Mike Greenberg might have a slight edge as a navigator, being that he is very familiar with the race course right here, and they certainly hope to put those things to their advantage. We'll have to see what happens, but right now they are looking very good. Unofficially, Hooters has a slight lead because they got off to that early start. Riva Photo is hanging very top. Chill Out is running very strong in that Scorpion, but Force 10 right now is looking very impressive right here. They're on the calm leg of the race course, and they're looking to make up some valuable time right here and close the gap between themselves and the leaders. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, it's the Force 10 race team. Now we come up on a familiar race boat with a new owner. This boat was formerly Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power, and he recently sold it to Hugo Colombo of Miami, Florida, who is now campaigning the boat in the D Division, formerly being campaigned as an open boat. There's a 38-foot deep V cigarette race hull powered by twin 720 horsepower Hawk Marine inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. Hugo Colombo owns the boat from Miami, Florida, who also does the driving. He's got Giovanni Valla from Miami, Florida as his navigator, and John Tomlinson from North Miami, Florida is on throttles. Hawk Marine Power, under the leadership of Mandy Fernandez, a very strong race boat. And now with the guidance of Colombo and the rest of his crew, he certainly hopes to carry on in the great Hawk Marine Power racing tradition. Colombo really enjoys the sport of offshore powerboat racing. He's been dying to get a nice competitive race boat, and he feels he's got the right combination now with these Hawk Marine inboards and the cigarette hull. It's what he's always wanted, and now he's got it, to come out here and run with the champions in the offshore powerboat racing circuit. So with Hugo Colombo and Valla and Tomlinson making up Hawk Marine Power, we wish them all the best in the D Division as they charge very hard now toward the lead group of boats in Sportsman D. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, we wish Hugo Colombo and the new Hawk Marine Power race boat all the best. Good close-up view of the race crew right there. So close you can see the instrumentation. Colombo and Tomlinson doing a fine job. And there, as they go by the historical Don Cesar Hotel, which is also acting as race headquarters in the background, a very spectacular sight right there. Hugo Colombo's Hawk Marine Power. Now we come up on some A Division boats. Right there in the lead and locked in a fierce battle, it's Gulfwind, followed by Johnson & Simmons. On the outside of them, it's an M boat, Bad to the Bone. So the two A boats, Gene Whipp's team Gulfwind and Johnson & Simmons, are locked in a fierce battle. The modified boat, Bad to the Bone, is off and running in his division because he's locked in a fierce battle with Team Skater and Agitator. But right now we're going to stay with Team Gulfwind. A44, it's a 22-foot velocity powered by a single 350 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboard with a Merc Cruiser outdrive. This boat is owned by Gene Whipp of Sarasota, Florida. Rich Middleton is doing the driving and throttling, and David Murphy from Sarasota is your navigator. So the team of Rich Middleton and Murphy making up Team Gulfwind. And right now these A-boats are taking a pounding, as you can see. Seas have kicked up slightly, and they really get a run for their money in the A Division. Going from side to side right there, a little tunnel walking, as you can see, and it's very rough on these guys. You can see the work that is ahead for the driver. Middleton really has his work cut out for him, keeping this boat on the race course and keeping it steady. But Middleton is a champion. He's been around for many, many years, and that's why he is associated with Gene Whipp, who has also been around for so many years on the Offshore race course. Whipp and Middleton have combined their efforts, and they've brought along David Murphy as their navigator to really help propel Team Gulfwind to a checkered flag today. Middleton's got a lot of experience, and he's going to muster it all up today because it's very rough, as you can see, and they certainly take a pounding. But nonetheless, they're having a very good run, and they're holding off Johnson & Simmons right now, and they are dueling with Liberator also. A-class, very competitive racing. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, Gene Whipp's Team Gulfwind. Now we come up on A90, Johnson & Simmons, and they're locked in a fierce duel right now with Gene Whipp's Team Gulfwind that you just saw. Johnson & Simmons, it's a 24-foot Maelstrom powered by a single 365 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboard with a Merc Cruiser drive. This boat is owned by Maelstrom Powerboats of Sarasota, Florida. Driving today is Mark Beaver from Sarasota, and on throttles we've got Ron Hicks, also hailing from Sarasota. The Maelstrom Powerboats from Sarasota, along with Beaver and Hicks, make up a very strong team. This is a very sleek-looking boat, as you can see. Slightly narrow as it gets toward the bow, and very sporty-looking and very fast right now. This boat is just hovering on top of the waves right here and looking very competitive. He's locked in a fierce battle right now with Gene Whip's Team Gulfwind that you just saw earlier on. What a great battle right here. Sportsman A is providing the race fans. That's Team Skater going by on the far outside. Team Skater and Agitator locked in a very big battle, so we'll have to see what happens, and we'll try to get you some intervals between Agitator and Team Skater as they're locked in a very fierce battle in the modified in the national points. But right here, Johnson and Simmons looking very strong in this 24-foot Maelstrom. Sleek looking boat, and he seems to be taking the rough water very well right now. They're looking very good. Don't seem to be having as rough a ride as Middleton was having earlier on in Team Gulfwind. Looking very good, and we wish them all the best as the fierce duel between Team Gulfwind, Johnson and Simmons, and Liberators also there in the A-Class unfolds for today's race. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, the boat A90 known as Johnson and Simmons. Now we come up on one of the open boats, the boat number 22, Maxon Race Team. This is a 35-foot TDC racing hull powered by twin 800 horsepower Maxon inboard motors with Keykefer outdrives. This boat is owned by Timmy Sasuli of Bernardsville, New Jersey. Timmy is also doing the driving today, and on throttles he's got Harry Wellman from St. Cloud, Florida. Sasuli and Wellman making up the Maxon Race Team. A good-looking boat right there, very sleek looking, a lot of technology and R&D developed for that racing capsule and the engineers on this boat. Good looking boat, Maxon Race Team. Sasuli, a great racer, been around for many years, and he's a real asset to the sport of offshore powerboat racing. Nice overhead shot there, Maxon Race Team, dug in nicely in their racing capsule. Maxon has had somewhat of a disappointing year for '89. He's had a few did not starts, didn't finish, but he has finished some of the races. But overall, it hasn't been the kind of year that Sasuli would have liked. He certainly hopes to have a good run here today, and you know he will have everything together for the World Championships coming up in October at Atlantic City. Being that they are from Jersey, and they are going to be more in local waters than down here in Florida, Sasuli really hopes to atone for '89 and have a very strong World Championship this year. So we wish them all the best as this race is beginning to unfold and get toward the latter stages of its completion. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, it's Tim Sasuli's Maxon Race Team. That's Maxon passing a smaller boat known as Fort Apache. Maxon's heading up on one of the outward legs of the course, and there you see in the background boats coming down the far leg of the course. So we've got some great racing. It's starting to unwind right now, and everyone's got to make their moves as it's starting to draw to a close. Some very good racing is still going on the race course. A lot of activity here today. Now we come up on P88, Miss Don Q Rum. It's a 32-foot Douglas skater powered by three 265 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Felix J. Sorales III from Mar Candido, Puerto Rico. Felix is doing the throttles, and driving today is Charles Marks from Potomac, Maryland. Charles Marks, as you can recall, is your champion in the Superboat class from Eric's Reality. He had it all locked up, did not bring out Eric's Reality, and he's joined forces here today with Sorales in the Miss Don Q Rum. So this should really be a tough boat to beat. In his own right, Sorales has had a great '89 campaign. He has been able to hold off Felson's high-risk race team to virtually lock up the pro stock. As long as Sorales has a good run today and finishes, even if Felson takes first, he should be the champion in pro stock. We will have to wait for final mathematics and results, but the way it looks according to Freeze Frame's unofficial calculations is that Felix J. Sorales III from Mar Candido, Puerto Rico will be your champ in pro stock. So that's great for Felix. He enjoyed an excellent '89, and it's a pleasure to have him running with Charles Marks today. Two champions combining forces in Miss Don Q Rum to have a good run here today. We've enjoyed covering Felix Sorales throughout the year. He's been a great champion and a strong competitor, a real good racer, a very good '89 campaign, and we've enjoyed covering him. We certainly look forward to seeing him as he goes for the championship in Atlantic City in the World Championships. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, it's Felix J. Sorales III, Miss Don Q Rum Race Team. And on the outside of Miss Don Q Rum, that's Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Racing Team. Sorales is acknowledged when they wave to each other, and Hawk Race Team goes by on the outside. Different class of boats. Mandy is in the larger class, and he's charging very hard to try to make up some ground there. We'll have to see what happens, but Sorales is enjoying a great day of racing once again. Miss Don Q Rum. Now we come up on P27, the Risky Business Race Team. This is a 32-foot skater catamaran powered by three 270 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Stephen Dorsich from Tahoe Paradise, California, and John Bruno is on throttles, also hailing from Tahoe Paradise, California. These guys have come a long way to race here, all the way across the country to bring out this Risky Business Race Team, and they're having a very fine run. Right now they're locked in a fierce battle with High Risk, Miss Don Q Rum, and themselves. It's too close to call right now at this point in the race. Risky Business overall has had a fairly good year. They've taken a few second places, third places, fifths and fourths, and they even missed some of the races, but they are in the top five in the P division of the national circuit. So that is certainly a good testament for the skills of Dorsich and Bruno, who make up this race team. But right now they're focused everything on the finishing today's race and trying to get some good points over Miss Don Q Rum and High Risk. They're locked in a very fierce battle right now in the P division of the national circuit. So we'll just have to wait and see how this finally unfolds as the stage is set for the P class, going right down to the end between Miss High Risk, Soralis's Don Q, and Risky Business. From St. Petersburg Beach, it's Steve Dorsich and John Bruno's Risky Business race team. Risky Business having a smooth run. And then you see them coming up on some A boats. That's Rich Middleton in Team Gulfwind in that A division, who's locked in a fierce battle. I believe we should be seeing Johnson and Simmons coming right up there also. And that is the other A boat, Johnson and Simmons, in their boat right there. So you see the lead right now that Johnson and Simmons has extended over Middleton's Team Gulfwind. So that is your battle raging in A class for second place between Johnson and Simmons and Team Gulfwind. Now we come up on S99, Skater Express. It's a 24-foot skater catamaran powered by two 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Glazer Marine Incorporated from St. Louis, Missouri. Driving today, you've got Joe Jacobson from St. Louis, who's also doing the navigating, and Chip Hackman is on throttles from Clearcore, Missouri. Hackman and Jacobson making up the Skater Express race team. And Skater Express has had an excellent year for '89. They've had nothing but first, seconds, and third places throughout the year, and they virtually have it locked up over hat trick for the national championship in stock class. And they're running very strong right now, so they are standing true to form with a model of consistency. They're looking very good. So with a good finish here today, they will have the championship locked up in stock class. They pretty much had it all the way because they have such a big lead over the second place boat nationally, but they're coming out here nonetheless, and rather than taking a passive approach, Skater Express is going all out for the checkered, and they're looking very strong right now here today. It's been a pleasure watching them also, because they will be crowned your national champion in stock class, and they're looking very strong right here. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, it's Glazer Marine's boat, driven by Joe Jacobson, throttled by Chip Hackman, the Skater Express race team, S99. Now we come up on one of the veterans of the race course, M25, the Extractor Race Team. It's a 35-foot superboat cat powered by two 600 horsepower Zool Racing inboard motors. This boat is owned by Extractor Boat Company from Babylon, New York. On throttles, you've got Jim Lavznowski from Babylon. Tommy Rizzo from Freeport is your navigator, and Alex Schiavelli from Freeport is your driver today. The Extractor Race Team, what more can we say? They've been a great competitor for so many years. There they are, very comfortable. They acknowledge the freeze frame copter, and they're very confident right now. They're presently with the lead group of boats in M-Class. With Bad to the Bone, Team Skater, the Duntamans with Agitator Race Team, and Lavznowski's right there with that group of boats. Those Zool motors have been performing well for him for so many years. The combination of Lavznowski's superboat with the motors by Zool have been a great combination for him for so many years. He hasn't been as active on the campaign this year, but when he does come out and race, he's certainly a force to be reckoned with. There you see the navigator getting things lined up, and they're doing very well right now. Schiavelli really has his work cut out for him, and Lavznowski knows exactly what it takes to throttle this boat around. They've been doing very well, and we wish them all the best, and we look forward to seeing them at the World Championships. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, M25, Jim Lavznowski's Extractor Race Team. Now we come up on boat number 13, totally awesome. It's a superboat. It's a 47-foot deep V Cougar hull with three 650 horsepower CNG marine inboards with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Elliot Sutton of North Miami Beach, Florida, who is doing the throttles today. Driving is Randy Garcia from North Miami, and your navigator is Larry Sutton, also hailing from North Miami, Florida. The totally awesome race team. Right now they seem to be a little down on power. We're not quite sure what, but they are having a pretty good run considering what's happening with the other competition. They're running with Little Caesars and Fountain for first place in the superboat category. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. They do not seem to be charging as hard as they have in the past, so they could be having some mechanical gremlins, but nonetheless they're continuing to go around the track, because if they do have a good finish, they could even wind up with a checkered flag, because they have a pretty good lead right now from what we understand, and they're running fairly consistently, although down in power. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but Elliot Sutton is persevering throughout this race course, and he's running as hard as he can with this boat. So we wish them all the best as he tries to take the checkered flag over Little Caesars Pizza and Fountain Race Boats in the superboat division here today. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, it's Elliot Sutton's totally awesome race team. Now we're back to Bad to the Bone. We began with them, and now we're finishing up with them at one of our final boats. He's going for the checkered flag right now in M-Class, and they've had a great run. M89, bad to the bone. This 33-foot Express Cat had a great day of racing. Ernesto Cortina, along with Jose Leyva, did a great job, and Rick Conti on the throttles. What can we say? Leyva and Conti, making up the Bad to the Bone race team, had a very fine run today. They're going for the checkered flag in M class, and they're holding off Team Skater and Agitator. And they've taken it, as you can see. Great day of racing for Bad to the Bone. After over 100 miles of racing, it's come down to a drag race for the finish in the P class between high risk and risky business. That's high risk on the inside, risky business on the outside. P71, Rich Felson's high risk race team. It's a 32-foot skater powered by three 250 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. Felson from Great Neck, New York is on the throttles. Driving today, he's got John Ingle from Seminole, Florida. They've had a great year, and they're coming to a great finish right now. We're going back and forth. So here you've got high risk on the inside, risky business on the outside. They're going for the checkered flag. Now we're back on the other side with risky business on the inside, high risk on the outside. A great job by Suncoast Helicopters providing us with the different angles. Jeff Girardi in camera 1 and Gary with camera 2 going back and forth from the starboard side to the port side of the race course. Exciting coverage. You can see them neck and neck with the Hotel Don Cesar in the background. What a great finish for the race fans here today. Risky business on the inside. Felson going by slightly with high risk on the outside. It's an all-out drag race to the checkered flag in the P division. Great day of racing right here. Very exciting. The APBA brings you nothing but the best in offshore powerboat action, and this illustrates it to the T. Felson being able to hang on slightly over Stephen Dorsey's risky business. That's Gary Johnson in helicopter number 2 and camera 2 for freeze frame video, doing an excellent job staying with Rich Felson's high risk. Now we're back on his side, and it's still neck and neck. Too close to call. Felson has a slight, about a 2-boat length lead over Steve Dorsey's risky business. And in third place in this division right now, of course this is unofficial, it's Felix Morales in Miss Don Q Rum. But that's fine for him. He took it easy around the track. He knew what he had to do. He had it locked up. So he just wants to finish with some good points today. So unofficially, he could be in third place, which will still give him the championship in P class. But Felson's going all out on the outside in high risk, and Steve Dorsey in risky business on the inside is hanging right with him. Just several boat lengths separating these two boats right now. What a treat for the fans. There you see it, 2 boat lengths between Felson and Dorsey. Dorsey's trying to make a move right here. He's pulling alongside Felson's high risk. Two skaters going head to head with Mercury power behind them. What great racing. After over 100 miles of open water racing, it's come down to one final drag race between high risk and risky business. 2 very evenly matched boats and crews right here. The picture speaks for itself. Neither boat giving ground. Felson and Dorsey locked in a very fierce battle. It's hard to say who has the edge. Dorsey takes a slight lead, but Felson comes right back each time he's had a challenge put to him. We'll have to see if he rises to it right now. Risky business has pulled even, but high risk once again meets the challenge and extends about a half a boat length lead right now from this angle. They're rounding that checkpoint. They're going to be heading toward the Hotel Don Cesar, and we'll have to see who takes the checkered flag. Dorsich on the inside lane has picked up some ground right there over Felsen's high risk. But as can be seen, Felsen has caught up. He must have a little more power in that boat than Dorsich's risky business. Felsen going all out right now. Look how he glides over the water and make his move right now on Dorsich. This race right here is worth the price of admission. The fans are getting a great treat. High Risk has made up the ground. He lost on that turn in the straight right here. The boat is running to perfection for Felsen. It responds to his every command. Dorsich in risky business responding. He's coming right up now. The throttles are all the way down. The boats are giving everything they have right now. Risky business and high risk going right to the wire. This race, this drag race between these two boats will go down right to the final wire. We'll have to wait and see what happens as they head toward the start-finish line. I'm sure this rivalry will be renewed in Atlantic City in the World Champions between Steven Dorsich's risky business and Rich Felsen's high risk. We'll have to wait and see how this one unfolds. Now we come up on an M boat. It's M27 Rebellious. It's a 32-foot superboat catamaran powered by two 370 horsepower Evinrude outboard motors. This boat is owned by Norman Silverman of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who is doing the throttles. Driving today, he's got John Emmons from Wayne, New Jersey, who's been around for many years with some great race teams, and Art LaCourse from Fort Washington, PA, is your navigator. The Rebellious race team. There's some tough competition today in M-Class with Bad to the Bone, Team Skater, and Agitator, who you saw earlier on. The spectators are still out there getting their money's worth. We can't wait to see what happened between risky business and high risk. That was some of the most exciting racing we've had throughout the campaign, and we couldn't have it at a better spot. The final race on the national campaign. But right now, Rebellious is charging hard, trying to make up some ground and close with a good finish. From St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, it's Norman Silverman's M27 Rebellious race team. We're going to stay with Norm Silverman's Rebellious race team as he heads toward the start-finish line to take his final positioning. And in just moments from then, we'll be compiling our final results, and we'll be bringing you the final results of the 1989 St. Petersburg Beach Gold Cup Challenge from beautiful St. Petersburg Beach, Florida.